Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome. Say hi in the chat so I know who's here. I have this massive pile of books to sign, and I didn't want to do it by myself because I thought that would be boring. So I figured I might as well pop on. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm not using my headphones this time, so let me know if you can still hear me or not. All right. Hello, hello. Yes, I recently read Empire of Silence and enjoyed it. It's a solid, I would say the book as a whole was a solid 3-star. The last 30% bumped it up to a 3.5 for me. Like the last section of the book, the last third probably was hands down the best. But I am excited to keep going. Thank you, Salma. Thank you so much. Hi, Doug. Hello, hello, Zeely. Tufty's here late at night. I hope you get some good rest, Tufty, but thanks for saying hi. Hi, Matt. It's late for you too, I think, over there. Thank you for hanging out. Yes, you guys. So many books. So if everybody wants to send me, some well wishes for my wrist about halfway through this stack, I'm going to have to pace myself because otherwise we'll be bad. Oh, good. Awesome. Thanks, Sin. Hello, hello. Hi, K2. How's it going? Fantastic. My sound quality's, but that checks out. I'm, on a laptop, and it's actually up on my bed right now, the end of my bed, because otherwise there wasn't enough room to show everything. Hi, Marianne. How's it going? What's everybody reading these days? I am reading Elizabeth Moon's Hunting Party, which is a 1990s sci-fi, and I'm getting used to it. This is so different than what I normally read, but I am actually enjoying it. Lots of twists and turns. Good characterization. I'm enjoying her character work, and she obviously knows a lot about the military and horses. And now my cat is trying to break into my room. 6 days behind. I am perpetually behind in YouTube videos. That is what I have heard. Yeah, see, I reached out to Brandon and was like, hey, we could sign books together sometime. That would be fine. And he hasn't gotten back to me yet. I really don't understand it. It is a lot. This is about 90 books behind me right now. And I only have a few left that aren't spoken for. So if you still want a signed paperback, the links are down in the description. I will order another batch after this, but that will be probably about a week or two behind this one. So I think I have like 8 left approximately. So if you guys want one, definitely grab it sooner rather than later. Hi, Denise. Hello from Quebec City. Hello. Oh my goodness. I just got them today, you guys. And the feeling so this is my officially 13th book published since I was young. And I always think it's going to not be as exciting, or not that I think that, but I forget how exciting it is, if that makes sense. And every time, the thrill is there every single time. It's amazing. And I love it so much. It's also a little bit of a nerve-wracking experience because you always hope that they arrive not damaged, because if they were damaged, the company I buy them from would replace them, but it would add time to the shipping timeline, and nobody wants that. So I'm very happy that there were only a couple rejects from the boxes that I took out. And the rest of them looked great, which was awesome. So we love that. Hey, Britton, how's it going? Royal Assassin, that's a chonker. Thank you so much for the well wishes, Selma. I really appreciate that. I hope you get a good night's sleep. Love nearly all of Moon's writing. Yeah, I'm excited to read more of hers. She's very interesting characterization. The twisting of the plot has been a little jarring up to this point, but I'm invested enough to keep going. So that's good. I'm also trying to get used to sci-fi, which is not my usual fare. Hello, Mr. Roro. Hey, Zamar, thank you so much. I know, it's officially a week from today, which is bonkers. Reading Beware of Chicken. I know Andrew Wizard's been really loving that lately. The Lilac People. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Tori. Please make sure. But yes, yeah. We'll see how far I get. But this is step 1. I can't start packaging until all of the books are signed. And then I'm going to wrap them all, and then I have to package them all, and I'll have to separate them into just the paperback orders versus the deluxe box orders. And there's a couple or a few of them actually, where people bought either phased or bloodstones or both along with Cold Silver. So I have to make sure that I package those with the extra books and sign those too. So this is kind of step 1, and it can get a little overwhelming, which is why I try to break it into like, okay, step 1, we're just going to sign all the books, and then we'll figure out what step 2 is. Reading and liking The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Nice. I know One Dark Window was going around BookTube quite a bit recent, or not super recently, but a little while ago, and everybody was talking about it. Two Twisted Crowns. Very nice. Anthology titled Dark and Stormy Nights. Nice. Thanks, Britton. Hey, McScarfield, how's it going? Past midnight. Awesome. Thank you. I know it's a little late for my over the pond friends, but thank you so much for saying hi. Hi, Shannon. I'm so excited for you guys to get this book. I can't handle it. I'm so excited. It's always like the breath before the storm this last week. And then as soon as I can get all of these packaged and shipped in the next few days, hopefully you guys will get them right on release day or very shortly after. My international orders might take a little bit longer, but I'm just glad they came early and they're all in good shape. So we're happy about that. Getting some reading done. Very nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. God is War. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm noticing with this Elizabeth Moon book is she was in the military, and she also is a horsewoman, which is awesome, and we love that. There's a lot of detail in here. There's a ton of detail, which is cool because I think it shows how much the author knows about their like the things that they're including in the book, which is always good. It is a lot if you don't know as much about it. Signed paperback of Cold Silver, Bloodstones 2 is out. Nice. Yeah, I am going to shift gears pretty much next week after Cold Silver comes out. And I've already started working on both Queen's Wolf, which is Bloodstones 2, and then also a surprise project that might be coming out later this year. Queen's Wolf will be 2026. Thanks, Casey. I know they look so good together. I started stacking them as I was taking them out of the boxes, and it's just, they look so good. I'm so happy with it. Thanks, Kay. I pulled yours out already. Otherwise, I would say that yours is in here, but yours is pulled out already. Yeah, so for anybody who's new, who isn't familiar, thank you, Denise, for this. I need people in the chat that remind me to promo my own books. I'm horrible at it. So Denise, thank you. Yeah, so Cold Silver is book one in a episodic fantasy Western series that features a protagonist who is a necromancer bounty hunter, and the world is kind of inspired by the Yukon Gold Rush era in Western North America. And it's very much motley crew, found family tropes. It's a little bit of a lone wolf and cub. We have a main protagonist who's on the hunt for justice and then realizes that she's kind of going to have to make her own. So if you like a lot of the Western, I'm very inspired by a lot of Western films, especially. I love Young Guns. I love 3:10 to Yuma. I love Magnificent Seven. That kind of a vibe, but bringing the dark, very kind of character-driven focus that I like to bring into my fantasy novels. That's basically the pitch for Cold Silver. So I'm very, very excited to get this out to you guys. And I'm planning currently on a series of about 4 to 6 books. Each one is episodic, so it's not going to feel like, oh my gosh, there's this huge cliffhanger, now I have to wait for the next book. Book one is kind of an episode that has some closure at the end so that you're not stuck waiting for the next book. But each book is going to have an overarching storyline that kind of leads through the series, and also each one's going to be episodic. So if that makes sense. Hi, Jacob. Me either. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to send these to you guys. Thank you, Kyle. Very nice. I've heard of Hild and I really want to read it. I put it on my TBR. It sounds awesome. Yeah, sneak peek for those of you who don't know this already, but Kayla is actually Tuckerized as a character in Cold Silver. So you guys will, it's not going to be hard to find her when you get the book. Hey, Chris. How's it going? Awesome. Thanks, Kyle. I will be packaging those in the next few days for you. Young Guns is one of my favorite films of all time as well. And I actually have a phrase. There's an insult that somebody uses in Cold Silver that's like a direct nod to Young Guns as a little Easter egg in there. You're welcome, Denise. Thank you for reminding me, honestly. I would have gotten there eventually, but my brain's been in complete mush pre-publishing mode. Oh, you did start Let in the Mist. Nice. I should probably actually sign some books while I'm gabbing here. It's a little intimidating, I'm not going to lie, to look at the stack and realize how many of these I have left. And this is the part where you really hope you remember how to spell your own name. Because it's weird when you've done it so many times, you have to be really careful that you don't accidentally forget and start messing up your signature. And part of the thing that's been weird for signing, once I started from like phased forward, I published my first quite a few books under my maiden name when I was much younger. So I had my signature all figured out. It was like completely, it was completely down pat. I'd been signing it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times through my high school career and into college. And then I got married to my husband. And then all of a sudden I had a different name and I had to figure out how to do a new signature. And then I switched again because instead of using my full legal name, which is Victoria, I go by Tori everywhere. I never go by Victoria. And so I switched all of my books over to Tori Tekken. So then I had to come up with yet another signature. So I've gone through some different iterations over the years. I'm hoping this stack, I'm going to have to put them on the floor probably. Any misspelled names are true. Yeah, it's a rare, there you go. It's a rare, not really a misprint, but probably going to be worth millions someday. Hey, Michael, how's it going? So if you guys want to see, this is approximately what my signature looks like in the book. There we go. So that's the one we've gone with for the last few books. Tori writes, I mean, that's fair. I thought about changing it to Tori Reads at one point, but at this point, I just kind of talk about a bunch of stuff, so it still fits. But originally, I named it Tori Talks instead of Tori Reads because I was going to review more than just books. But I ended up just kind of sticking on BookTube more than anything else, and that's how it ended up. Chris, I absolutely will sign yours, Veronica Tekken. Don't think I won't. That'll be unique to you. Lonesome Dove. Yeah, I read that last year. I think McMurtry's characterization is really, really powerful, and the atmosphere in that book is so well done. I wasn't a huge fan of the story as a whole just because of some of the content, but hands down, it is a brilliantly written book. Totally agree. Lancelot by Giles Christian. Nice. You'll have to let me know what you think of Lancelot. That one I wasn't a big fan of, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Sign with Beanie Barbarian. There you go. I could just change my channel name to the Beanie Barbarian, honestly, at this point. Hey, Lisa. How's it going? Thank you. Thank you, Marianne. I kind of played around with it and practiced a little bit when Bloodstones came out, because that was the first one that I used this signature for, because Phased still has Victoria on it, which I will probably change at some point in the future. They are, Denise. Yeah, so you can get the ebook and the paperback of Cold Silver. You can pre-order it on Amazon right now as well. So yeah, actually, and I should point out the ebook specifically is only available on Amazon currently. So if that's the way that you prefer to read, that's where you'll find it. I do have plans for an audiobook in the future, but I'm not entirely sure when yet. I will be recording it myself, most likely, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to dust off my theater degree, and I'm very, very excited. But I don't know when I will have time to do that. So hopefully soon. It does. I like the alliteration of Tori Talks, which is why I've kept it, because it still fits and it allows me a little bit of wiggle room if I decide to do something else at some point, which I probably won't, but at least the option is there. It gives me a little bit more freedom. Hey, Jack, how's it going? Jack, you guys, was my cover designer. So Helena Nikolina from the Ukraine did my illustration on the front, and then Jack made it look really beautiful with all of the text and layout. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but let's see a better way to show you. So he did this really cool effect on the text, so it looks like it's kind of blown or a little bit I don't know, Jack, help me out. What did you do to this, the text? It kind of makes it look like it's in a snowstorm. It's really, really cool. So big thanks to Jack for being awesome and doing such a good job with the cover design, because I was thrilled with it. Yeah, I might. So when I write the sequel, which should be coming up in the next year or two here, a couple years as well, because that one's just a duology. And for anybody who's confused about what I'm talking about, that's my dark paranormal fantasy Phased. This one is a werewolf novel without all of the romance. There is a slight romantic subplot, but not anything super heavy. It's more focused on the werewolves and they're trying to assimilate into human culture. And that one I wrote in 2020, came out in 2020. And the second book, there's only going to be 2 of them. The second one should be coming out in the next couple of years, hopefully. But when it does, the artist that worked on the phased cover is no longer doing art. So what I'll probably do is I'll do a reboot of both books with new covers from a new artist, and I'll switch it probably then. Okay, spoiler free, what was your favorite and least favorite parts of writing Cold Silver? That's a really good question. Favorite parts. Honestly, I've been so excited to try writing a Western. I love writing kind of the untamed lands and the untamed people kind of vibe of a Western. And I really loved getting a chance to write like the action scenes with more of the kind of gunslinger and necromancy standpoint, because I'm so used to working with bladed weapons in Bloodstones and then more hand-to-hand claw combat in phased. So it was really fun to try a different combat style and describing things through a singular character's lens was a really good challenge for me, because I usually write in third person past tense, and this one is in first person present. And it was a really good challenge to really dig into Hunter's viewpoint and to be able to just kind of sink into her voice. So that was really, really fun. That was a really good mix up from what I usually write. And I love how it turned out. And she was such a fun character to write. I'd say the challenging part, I don't know if I would say least favorite, but that was also one of the biggest challenges, because in a third person story, the author is narrating the book to you. So you can get away with a lot more types of description, and you can, you're not necessarily quote unquote limited to one character's lens. With Hunter, I had to constantly step back and go, okay, what is Hunter going to notice? What parts of the world is she going to be paying most attention to? Because I want it to be a very authentic experience. When you're in her head, I want you to be in her head. So that was a really good challenge. And there were parts of it that were really tough. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. And it was an excellent, I think a good growth step for me as an author to be able to commit to that first person perspective, and I learned a ton from it, and it was great fun. Yes, Jack is an incredible map maker, and I should say he also did the map inside the book, which, let me find it so you guys can all see. That is the map of the territories, and Jack did a great job, because I basically went in and I said, okay, I want to do something that looks very similar to like an 1800s surveyor's map. And he just completely exceeded. That's redundant. He exceeded my expectations with it, and it looks so good. He even has, if you order the deluxe box, you get like a color print of the map, and you can see he even added like a crease where it looks like the map was folded. It's so cool, you guys. He did a fantastic job. So he did the map and the cover design. Helena did the illustration, and then the chapter headers, which I should also show you guys. Let's see. There's the chapter headers were done by Dewey Conway, who is also an indie author, and he wrote The Tenacious Tale of Tana the Tender Sword, which is a middle grade fantasy. And he did this awesome chapter header for me. So, I mean, honestly, buy the book for the artwork, if nothing else, because they really knocked it out of the park. How long did it take me to write it? So I started Cold Silver in January of 2024. And last year was a really tough year for my family and I, just on a personal level. There were a lot of things going on in my family, and some struggles. So I took a break from my epic fantasy series because I just did not have the headspace to really give something of that scope the attention that it needed. And so I decided to start from scratch and write something that was something just fun and something I'd always wanted to try, which in this case was I've always wanted to write a necromancer character. I've always wanted to write a Western style fantasy. And I just combined the two of them and decided to do both at the same time. And honestly, Cold Silver kind of saved my creativity last year. And it was the project that really kept me going and gave me something to work on and something fun to try something new. And yeah, so it took me about a year. I think I finished officially in January or February this year. So yeah, about a year. Bloodstones took me about 18 months. So I feel like that's pretty consistent for me still. And I'm very much, I admire so much my indie author friends who are able to write the books faster and publish on a more consistent schedule. That's not the way that my creativity works. I have planned out, in the next few years, the books that I'm going to get done, but I also want to make sure that I'm giving them the time that they deserve for me, writing them to really make sure that they are, the best that I can make them, because I want to go back 5 years from now and look at these books and be proud of what I've done. And I want to make sure that I gave them everything that I could every time. So it does, for me, it takes a little bit longer. I'm also a mom, so I'm constantly running around and doing stuff with my 3 kiddos as well. So they keep me busy. Thank you. Distressed is a great word for that. Yeah, it has a really cool kind of distressed effect on the title text, which is very cool. Windswept also, yeah. Hi, Derry. Yes, very, very soon. I'm very excited. So pretty much all of these, I have a few in the stack behind me left that are not spoken for, but only like 7 or 8. And then I'll order another batch. So anybody after the 7 or 8 are spoken for, you'll still get them soon. It'll just be like a week or 2 later. Ryan, they made it look like the letters were cold, like rating. Exactly. It looks very, very cool. That's one of my favorite parts of the publishing process. Once I get done with the actual writing the book, is getting to collaborate with incredible visual artists for the cover and the cover design and the interior. It's so much fun, and getting to see them bring the story to life in a completely different medium. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. Phased is really good. Thank you, Britton. I'm very proud of Phased. It's a book that was kind of my first foray back into writing after I'd taken a pretty big break to finish college, got married, had my kids, and that was my first published book kind of back in my adult career as a writer. And I love that book. So it always makes me happy when people find something in it to love. We're getting there, guys. We actually have, like, you guys can see the edge of the stack over here. We're getting a stack done. Great werewolves. Thank you. Yeah, I loved writing werewolves. That was so much fun. I honestly can't wait to go back and write the sequel because I miss Val and Lila a lot. They're very fun characters to write. Just placed an order for Cold Silver and the Bloodstones. Nice. Thanks, Doug. I am excited to sign them for you. And I'm going to like swamp my post office in the next few days. They're used to me at this point, but I love the packaging part of publishing so much. It's so much fun to be able to go through each individual order and wrap the book, sign the book for each person. So is there any mining? There is a little bit. We're going to get a little bit more of that as we go into the series further, but there is a mine. We don't go into it yet, but we go through some older mining settlements. So we're kind of at like an adjacent era to sort of the middle end of the Yukon Gold Rush, where it's been going for a while and a lot of the major sites have been taken over by big silver barons. And so there aren't a lot of like small family owned or random people finding mining locations too much anymore, or shade silver locations. But the way that the map works is up toward the north, everything gets colder and colder and colder. And so it's very dangerous. There are creatures called the Shades up there that are kind of like my version of like a wraith zombie. So not a lot of people have been able to survive up there long enough to establish a bigger mining operation. Hunter goes up there in the book because she's Hunter. But yeah, there's going to be more of that as we go through the series. It did come out okay. It looks beautiful. And also for the people that get the deluxe box, there's, like I mentioned before, there's a full color, like large postcard of the map. And that looks amazing. Jacob says, I enjoyed Bloodstone so much. One of my top reads of the year. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. That honestly really makes my day to hear that. Bloodstones was my love letter to epic fantasy, which is my favorite genre to write and read. And I just packed it full of everything I love. And I always tell people it's kind of like, I don't know if anybody's in the chat has watched any of these, but it's kind of my version of a historical Korean drama merged with dark epic fantasy. And it was so much fun. I cannot wait to put out the next couple of books in that series, you guys. I can't wait. So thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Chasing the kitties around the house. the cats and the kiddos, yes. Have a good night, Jack. Thanks for popping in, and thank you so much for all of your awesome work on the book. It looks amazing. Have fun on your podcast, Britton. Hey, Sam. I feel so happy and relaxed, honestly. This is my favorite part. I love getting the books and seeing that they're all in good shape. They haven't been damaged in shipping, because that's every author's nightmare, you know, and that they look great and I can send them all to you guys. So I feel very happy about that. Denise, that would be awesome. I am completely open to that. Usually what happens for indie authors with translations is some kind of company would have to reach out to me in order to do that. But I'm very open to, I would love to see my books translated into other languages. That would be amazing. I think you're going to love Hunter, Derry. I think there are quite a few characters in this book that I can see you really enjoying. So I'm excited for you to read it. And I'm really glad you enjoyed Phase too. Can't wait to get my copy. Awesome. Thanks, Lisa. I'm excited for you to get your copy too. I did hear about that, Kay. Not sure how many. I have a few going out to Canada, so I'm going to have to figure out the best way to do that, because I obviously want to make sure that they're safe and that you guys get them as soon as possible. And at this point, I mean, that's only in 3 days. So realistically, I don't know that I can get them up there before that happens. So if you're from Canada and you've posted, or if you've done an order, I'll probably reach out to you and just see what your preference is. If you'd like me to hold them for a little bit, or if you'd like me to send them, and cross our fingers. I really hate how complicated shipping is sometimes. Whoops. Hey, Cassie, love Bloodstones, and I'm excited for this new release, but also looking forward to Bloodstones 2. I'm so happy you're looking forward to Bloodstones 2 because I am also looking forward to Bloodstones 2. So, yes, some updates for you guys. I am about 12,000 words into book 2, and I am very excited to get working on it this summer. I am also going to be announcing shortly that there's another Bruhai project in between book 1 and 2 that I'm hoping to drop sooner than book number 2. And I will be announcing that probably right after Cold Silver comes out, and I've done like a week of promoing for that. And then I will drop my more info on the next one, which I have already also started and I'm very excited about. I signed the contract for the cover 3 days ago. And I think that the Bruhai fans are going to be very excited about that. So yes, that is my next. I'm Cold Silver was a really good reset for me last year with everything going on in my personal life, and just gave me a good kind of creative reset. And I am so charged and ready to get back into Bruhai. I cannot wait. So I am excited. Thanks, Casey. I do feel relaxed. I mean, I've done this a few times now, and I kind of expect there's always something that doesn't go to plan, but everything, I'm going to knock on wood, everything so far has been, there's been some hiccups, but overall it's been a good experience, and everybody's been super supportive, which I can't tell you how much I appreciate. And just, it's good. I'm excited. I'm always excited to get new books out to people. So it is always a good experience. I ordered a copy to arrive at a family member's house, so it actually arrived at our new home ahead of me. Nice. It's like a housewarming present to yourself. I love that. I hope the move goes well, Jamie. We got through a whole stack, you guys. I'm actually like really excited about it. I didn't realize I'd signed that many already. That's awesome. I should see, actually, if Ben can bring me some of the stuff to show you guys that's going to be in the deluxe box. We'll call Ben and we'll see if he can bring me, so you guys can see like the art print for the map and stuff. The stack is outgrowing my space for it over here. Yeah, I was wondering if you could bring me a couple of the items that go in the deluxe box so I can show everybody, like the map and the bookmark and not the secret thing, but the other stuff. It's up on top of that bookshelf by my desk. I'm going to have to. Yeah, so you guys, Casey made an incredible fan art of the Bloodstones. There's a type of animal or creature in the Bloodstones called a Karox, and it's like a big, kind of like if you took a Highland cow and you gave it more back horns and kind of have like backwards facing horns, and they have like really big scales from their face all the way down the ridge of their back. And the people that raise them make their armor out of that, and they have, the hides for their houses and all that kind of stuff. And she did a fan art piece of one of the Karoxen, and it looks incredible. And I will probably, when I start doing some in-person events, I want to start bringing some prints of that along. Kay, you already know about the secret thing, though. You know about the secret thing. Yeah, everybody who orders the deluxe box, there's a special tidbit in there that I didn't mention on the website that I'm very excited for you guys to get. Yes, Derry, it is. It was the one that she was doing on the live stream. and she finished it. If you scroll back through my community posts on my channel, it's down there from a little while ago. So it should still be up there if you guys want to scroll through them and see. Did you find the maps?
No,
they're underneath those.
I only found that one. Is there a box of them on your
Yeah, so on my desk,
yeah.
The bookshelf to the left, on the end of that bookshelf, there's some boxes stacked.
Okay.
They're all in there. It looks so good. Yeah, it really was gorgeous, you guys. So yeah, scroll back through the community posts if you want to check out. Oh, that secret thing. Yeah, that secret thing. Have a good dinner, Jamie. Thanks for hanging out with us. Also, since she was here, everybody, I don't know, well, my husband's reading the first book, but please go check out Jamie's Land of Exile series. The first one is By Blood, by Salt. That is the self-published fantasy blog off winner for this year, which I'm just over the moon about for her. And I've read book 1 and 2, and I cannot get book 3 fast enough. This is going to be one of my favorite new series that I've read in a long time. So please go check out her book as well. It's fantastic. Yes. He's like, where is it? How many pages is the new book? This one is, it's 284, I believe, approximately. 284. So it's meant to read like a shorter episodic action adventure fantasy Western. Yes, thank you.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, I can't show you that. That's the secret thing. Okay, so here's the art print of the map. So this will be in all of the deluxe boxes. And it's hard to see. It looks so good in person, but I don't know if you guys can see like the creases that he put in the design. So it looks like it was a folded map. And it has all of the towns and settlements and everything in here. Yeah, it looks so good. So all the deluxe boxes will have one of these in them. And it's like a harder postcard paper, so they're a little sturdier. And then everybody's going to get a bookmark with the cover on it. Double-sided bookmark. And then there's a sticker with the chapter header art in there as well. And then the secret thing that I can't tell you about yet. Hey, Brian. That's right. We're going to raise the DNF books. That's on your channel, Brian. That's what you do. So everybody should go check out Brian's channel and a very fun video he did quite a while ago now, Brian. How long was that? Where he read other booktubers' DNFs to see what he thought of them, which was a very cool idea. And it was kind of fun, I'm not going to lie, watching you struggle through, through some of those books. But that was a really fun content idea. Yes, By Blood, by Salt is so good, you guys. It's so good. I love it. She cannot write that third book fast enough, honestly. Spiffbo winner, yep. So well deserved. When I read the book, we were still in semifinalist stage, I think. So it hadn't become a finalist yet. And I read it, and the minute I read it, I was like, this is a winner book. Like, this is just phenomenally done. So good. Yeah, I should have had him come in and say hi to you guys. I think he's making dinner right now. Yay, that's awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. That's one of my favorite parts of what I do as a YouTuber, you guys, honestly, is hearing people pick up books that I talk about and really loving them just makes my day. I love it. The map is so good, you guys. It looks amazing. It looks good in black and white in the book, and it looks good on the postcards. It's really good. Jack did a phenomenal job with it. We are getting through the stack, you guys. I don't know if we're quite halfway yet, but we're getting close. Come Got too many books I want to read to spend time finishing books I'm not enjoying. That's kind of my approach to it as well, Don. I don't typically go back to DNF books ever, unless it was a soft DNF where I was just like, yeah, this might just not be the right time, where I'm not in the right headspace for a certain book, and I know it's something that I'd want to come back to later. But if I really don't love the book, I'm a lot more protective of my time that way now. And there's so many books that I know I will enjoy that I don't want to take that time away from experiencing them. Andrew DNFs everything. Honestly, we have joked multiple times that I'm going to put a blurb on Cold Silver for Souls on the front cover and just say, Andrew's Wizardly Reads did not DNF this book. And that's like my selling point. The arm of Oh, awesome, Josh. Yep, I remember seeing your order come through. I am excited to send it to you very soon. We're getting very close. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Oops. I clicked on your comment and then accidentally clicked it again. We are doing well. We're having a good time hanging out. I really appreciate you guys coming in and chilling with me while I do this, because it's a lot more fun to do it with friends than to just sit in my room by myself. And I mean, I do love signing books, so it would have been fun either way, but it's way more fun with you guys. You guys, honestly, I'm such a massive fan. When I saw, so Helena is her like primary art that she does is Dungeons and Dragons character portraits and stuff like that. And I had seen her work on Twitter and I was like, ooh, I really like her style and the way that she has these really vibrant colors, and her characters always have such a really like larger than life expression, and they look very real, like not realistic in the sense that it's realism, the style, but they look like they're coming off the page. And I love that so much. And I reached out to her and I was like, how do you feel about doing a book cover? And she this is so much more vibrant than it's showing up on the screen. The blue just pops so well. And the way that she brought Hunter right off the page just makes me so incredibly happy. So yeah, it looks amazing in person. We are all big fans of Christopher Navo over here. Everybody should go check out Chris's channel and also support him while he is editing his own work. So I'm very excited about that. Still struggle with DNF, but I'm going to have to start. It's a fair problem when you've been around BookTube for any number of years. It's not even if you're a booktuber, but even if you're just in the audience. I think all of us struggle with the never-ending TBR, and at some point, we just have to get a little bit more picky. Not picky, that's not the right word, but like selective about what we want to read and knowing what works for us and what doesn't. We are getting there, you guys. That's all we have left. It's still a lot, but we're getting there. Yes, I cannot wait for Chris's book. That's going to be easily my most anticipated indie release the year it comes out. The advantage of not DNFing a book is that the review has more credibility. That's true. I don't do a written review for any books that I DNF, just as a personal thing. For that exact reason. I may put like on Goodreads, I may say I DNF'd at 40% because of these content issues. So I'll let people know like what issues I had with it, but I never put a rating because I don't want to like tear down the author's rating average when I haven't finished the book. And I, if it wasn't working for me, that's fine, but I don't know what happens in the rest of the story. So I don't feel like I can legitimately make that call. So I usually don't do, I'll mention them in my wrap-ups and stuff, but you're not a horrible human being, Doug. You're awesome. Never DNF'd anything, but I don't. See, that's the thing. If you're more selective at the front end too, typically you're going to not have as many books that you want to DNF, I would think. You're always going to have the, the oddball, but Hubs just got home and brought the mail. He picked up special. Oh, yay. Good. I'm glad it arrived safely. Actually, I'm really surprised. My wrist is doing okay, which is surprising because I do have a lot of issues with that. So I'm thrilled that it's holding up so far. And I'm glad Princess Bride arrived to you safely. Would it be a problem? No, I can ship to Canada. Kayla is from Canada as well, and I'm shipping a book to her. So it'll just depend on it with the possible strike for mail in Canada. You'll have to let me know maybe in the notes. If you order off the website, just let me know in the notes if you want me to send it right away and just hope it goes through. And I'm not sure like what parts of the mail system up there are going to be affected by it. Or if you want me to hold on to it for a little bit, I'm happy to do that too. And then send it out once things kind of settle down with the possible strike and everything. So I'm more than happy to ship to Canada. That's not a problem at all. Just let me know in the notes what your preference is. Okay, too, looking at, I'm out here to provide the world with redhead protagonists. So I remember when I was young and I would read kids' books and the redheads were always either the bully or like super sleazy or, so I'm here to put some strong, cool redheads on some covers. Her hair is a lot redder than mine. But I feel like in some ways when, at least for me, when I'm writing like a first person character, there are going to be things that are more similar to me as the author. She's definitely not me. Like she's not a self-insert. She's very different than me in a lot of ways, but there are also some things that we definitely have, some crossover. Vanity and Valor was so bad I deleted. That's the thing. Sometimes you gotta rant. So this book is episodic. It is going to be part of a larger series. However, there isn't like a massive cliffhanger at the end. We set up for, the larger conflict of the series, but the episode story in book 1 has like a pretty good amount of closure. So in that way, I hope that's the goal. It's not going to be one of those things where you finish reading it and you're like, oh my gosh, like I want you to need book 2, but not feel like it's a massive cliffhanger, if that makes sense. Mastering the multitasking of signing and running a live stream. Yeah, it's fun. I'm trying to remember if I did this for Phased or Bloodstones. I can't remember. I don't think so, but I don't remember. It's why I'm taking breaks so that I can kind of reset my brain and make sure I'm still signing the correct name on the books. Brian, if you want to do some artwork for the special edition of Cold Silver for Souls in the future, I am more than happy to bring you on board because I would love a Thanksgiving turkey. Maybe I'll write a turkey into the book just so you can do fan art of it. Standard Post will be going on strike. Okay. I've been sending stick figure drawings to, I feel this so much. Yeah, I've done a couple of sketches for my artists before, and let's just say there's a reason why I'm paying them to do the covers instead of me doing it myself, because it's not my talent. If I sat down and really practiced for several years, I might be able to do something, but not to this level. I did for Blood Zones. I thought I kind of remembered doing that. Just ordered my copy of Cold Silver Souls. It is a little bit darker. It's not YA. There are some young characters in it, but Hunter as the protagonist is about 26, 27. It's not YA. I tend to run a little, I don't write, how do I put this? I'm not grimdark. We'll put it that way. You're not going to get grimdark levels of, grotesquerie, but I do write dark fantasy. All three of my books are dark fantasy, just in different subgenres. So yeah, there's a necromancer and there's a walking corpse, and there's discussion of some slightly heavier topics in there. Yeah, I'm a big believer in bringing young characters, like when your book has young characters in it, but it isn't meant to be a YA, to show what it's like to be a young person in an adult world, because sometimes it's really tough. And so in that way, I guess it's more dark, but it's not grimdark. I have lines. We'll put it that way. So thank you for popping in, Monty. I appreciate it. Yeah, at this point, I kind of would just say that I write dark fantasy in different subgenres. I've done paranormal, I've urban paranormal, I've done fantasy western and epic at this point, and I kind of keep that same darker tone through all of it. If you're looking at a scale from like noble bright, which is the good guys always win, it's like, that kind of a story, versus grim dark, which is the world sucks, all the people suck, and everything sucks all the time. I'm in kind of a noble dark area where the world is very dark and really hard things happen, but the characters are always fighting for something. Like they're never willing to give up. That's kind of where I land on that scale. I don't know if that helps or not. Is there going to be a hardcover? At some point, it's quite possible, because this book isn't super large. A hardcover would be pretty slim. But what I would like to do eventually, when I get more of the books out, is potentially do some omnibus editions in hardcover, and definitely down the road. I have ideas for special edition hardcovers for all of my books. So, all right, guys, we're starting to run out of room. My TV tray is tipping. But we're almost down to the bottom of the second stack. I'm going to have to probably later tonight order more of these. So let me know in the comments, you guys, what books you have been reading this year that you are like absolutely loving, books that you think should be on everybody's TBR. I think these are short enough episodic stories that I think if I do like a series of 4 or 6, I could split it into either one big omnibus for all 6, or do or for all 4, or if there's 6 of them, split them into 2 different omnibus editions. Actually, so K2, you can get the paperbacks on Amazon. They won't come through me. They'll come through an Amazon provider if you order from them. I actually get them from a company called Ingram Spark, which is one of the major print-on-demand companies that a lot of indie authors utilize. And I have, where did I put it? I'll show you a few of the differences. So the Amazon paperbacks are still great. I have the proof copy right here. So the Amazon Amazon version, it's going to be hard to tell on the screen. The Amazon version is a little bit lighter, not as deep of a color scheme. This one is looking a little darker. It's hard to tell on this webcam, but it's also a tiny bit thicker. It's not the glue. I don't know if you can see very well. So the glue on the Amazon signatures, which is each section of paper, like there's different groups of paper that they put in the book. Groups of pages, that's the word I was looking for. The glue holding it to the spine is a little bit thinner than it is on the Ingram version. So they're both going to be quality books, but I like the quality of the colors, and just the floppiness of the Ingram Spark version is just fantastic. The Amazon one isn't bad, but it's not quite as floppy and comfortable. But they're both fine. I just prefer the Ingram Spark version. So when I order them to sell myself on my website, I usually sell the Ingram ones. And also the other dumb thing is that Amazon does not allow me to order author copies that don't have this lovely not for resale gray band on them until after the release date. So I can't order early author copies like I can with Ingram Spark. Ingram, I can just order them as soon as it's formatted and up on their system, but I can't with Amazon. So don't like paperbacks. That's fair. And don't read physical anyway. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So yeah, I would love to do hard covers at some point, but it is a lot of extra formatting, and I'd have to design the dust jacket and all of that stuff. And for Cold Silver by itself, like Bloodstones could be a hardcover pretty easily because it's bigger. But Cold Silver is slim enough that I think it would be tough to do it as a standalone hardcover, if that makes sense. Gunmetal Gods, I know that's a big favorite. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's awesome. Darkblade Assassin. Ugh. Yeah, Mr. Peliquin, he does that. Sword of Kaigen. Nice. Very nice. That's a good one, too. I like that book. By Blood, by Salt absolutely deserved its fifth Bowen, you guys. Like, I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite indie books I've read in the last 3 years. It's so good. I've been hearing Blood Over Brighthaven is a surprise for some people. I know Andrew Wizard, who's a close friend of mine, really loved it this year as well, so I'm excited to read that. Shadowbinder series, also about Sun Eater. I cannot wait to read Howling Dark, you guys. Book 2. It's going to be amazing. It is already available via Amazon. So if you search for Cold Silver for Souls, you can order it on Amazon, ebook and paperback versions. So if that's easier for you, please go right ahead. And you can order in both formats already. It should be up there. And it just won't, like, they won't ship it out to you until the 27th, which is the release day. But you can pre-order it there as well, and you should be able to get it right on release day or right after that. So Wars of Light and Shadow Journey, wrapping up book 3. Nice. Apocalypse Parenting by Aaron Ampersand. Nice. I love a good reread. I really do. Yes, the Ingram Spark floppy. It's awesome. Best Reads of Heart, Inevitable Ruin by Matt Denneman. Fire and Song by Bryce O'Connor. Yes. And Defiant by Michael. Nice. That's a good set of reads. I need to keep going on Michael Miller's series. I read Ascendant and really enjoyed it, but I need to keep going. Fire and Song, I binged last year. I loved Iron Prince so much. But first of all, can we just talk about how awesome of a username this is? Befuddled Banda is fantastic. I love that. And thank you very much. I appreciate that. My internet crapped out when I started showing the books. Oh no, well, here's the floppy. I'll show it again. That's the Ingram version. The Amazon version is not quite as floppy. And the glue holding the book to the spine. Let's see if I can show you guys again. I don't know how easily you'll be able to see, but the Amazon version, which is the wider one, has a thinner layer of glue holding the book together as the Ingram. They're like really infinitesimal differences, but also the vibrancy and deepness of the colors, depth. I'm tired, you guys. I'm so sorry. The depth of the colors is better on the Ingram. Gale's Song by Shauna. I'm so happy you've been loving that series. That makes me really happy for you. Howling Dark is on another level. I fully expect that it's going to be a wild ride. Hey, Laura. Speaking of authors with books coming out, you guys should go check out Laura Blake's Forgotten Dawn, which is coming out on the 5th of June. I got my pre-order in, and I'm very excited to check it out. Any genres that you read other than fantasy or sci-fi, any you want to get more into? Yes, actually, I read pretty widely. I like some classics. I've been getting into murder, mystery, and thriller this year a little bit more and really enjoying that. And I read memoirs, specifically survivor memoirs of people who I've read quite a few North Korean defector memoirs. I've read people that survive like big catastrophes. I also like historical fiction. I like some literary fiction as long as it's not too wrapped up in itself. So yeah, I actually read pretty widely. I like manga. So yeah, I would say what I want to get more into, poetry. I love poetry. I would like to get more into murder, mystery, and thriller because I kind of just started reading in that genre this last year and I've been really enjoying it. Yeah, so many books, Laura, and I've already gotten through 2 stacks and you can't really see them, but there's a ton over here. Gotta earn my keep over here. Okay, Howling is great. I'm on to Demon in White. Nice. This year I've read and loved Proud Taste for Scarlet and Miniver and the Second Mrs. Historical fiction. Nice. What era or eras are they in? When I read historical fiction, I typically go for Civil War era historical fiction or ancient world fiction, historical fiction. I really like Asian historical fiction, whether that's specifically Japanese or Korean. Dandelion Dynasty, awesome. Camp 14, yeah, that was a North Korean defector memoir that Casey and I read together last month, and that was phenomenal. Shemaya says, congratulations on your book. Nice. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Nice. I haven't heard. I'll check that one out. Book 2 in the Vorkosigan Saga, which is another one I really want to read. Thanks, Doug. You guys can help me out with these words. I swear that my book is more intelligent sounding than I am at this moment. I'm going to say deepitude next time. Thanks, Doug. It was 17 months ago doing it. That's that long ago? That's crazy. Man, time really flies. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys should go check it out. Laura has pitched it to me as epic fantasy with romance instead of being fantasy, romance, or romantasy, which I am all here for. And I know that Laura is going to tell a good story, so I'm very excited about it. Me and that romance, you guys. It's my favorite. Cue sarcasm. In fairness to Emily Henry, I have read an entirety of one book by her, which I really did not like, but I am willing to give her another try and read a different book of hers, because it might have just been that particular storyline that I wasn't a big fan of, or that particular romance trope. I was not a big fan. But I am willing to give her one more chance. So I haven't given up yet. I'm going to find a romance that I like, you guys. It's going to happen someday. To put it into perspective, Empire of Silence did not have an outline and was hastily rewritten almost solely. Wow. Okay, so for just considering that he was like 19 or 20 when he wrote Empire of Silence, and it is as good as it is without an outline, and it's that big of a story, that's pretty impressive. Howling Dark was outlined from the start. Nice. I'm excited to see the difference between the two. Capital F favorite shelf. Nice. We love a capital F favorite shelf. Mine is behind me, and one of the series is not there right now because I was showing it to somebody today. Okay, everybody has been talking about Kitchen Confidential recently, and I would really like to read it now because I'm curious. I need to know. I feel the FOMO. Everybody's been talking about it. Hello, Pete. Yukon. Can we call it Yukon punk? Is that a thing we can do? There's everything punk now. There's cyberpunk and incense punk and sandal punk, and so I think we're bringing Yukon punk to the table. That's what we're doing. Necro Yukon. Yeah, it really does. I mean, I kind of was at the point where I was like, I want to write a story about a necromancer, and also I want to write a Western fantasy. Let's just stick them in a blender and see what happens. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I need to try Kristen Hanna soon. I have Firefly Lane on my shelf. Demon in White is like 5 of the best books you've ever read. I love it. You know, big series, doing multiple big series in a year is a lot. That's one of the reasons why I didn't start Wars of Light and Shadow by Janie Wirtz this year, because I'm trying to get through Sun Eater. I'm trying to get through Malazan. I'm finishing up the Books of Babel by Josiah Bancroft. I have the last book still to get through. And I was just like, I want to be able to give each of these series my best effort, and I can't if I start too many of them. Scarlet and Miniver is about Eleanor of Aquitaine. Very cool. And Miss Gioconda. Oh, interesting. That's cool. Necropunk. Yeah. It's necropunk and Yukon punk at the same time. I am here for that. I mean, I think we definitely need more Yukon Gold Rush era fantasy stories, personally. Because it is a fascinating time period. I was watching a bunch of documentaries and stuff when I was working on writing the book, and it was just so fascinating, the things that humans get themselves into as you go through history, and you're just like, it's just fascinating. Yeah, I really enjoyed Curse of Shalion, which is McMaster Bujold's World of the Five Gods, yes, fantasy series, which is excellent. That was an excellent book. And it's also, even though it's in a series, it is technically standalone capable. So if you want to try a Bujold fantasy, check out Curse of Shalion. And I've heard that if you want to try sci-fi, the Vorkosigan saga is where it's at. Same, Chris. She's the only author at this point that I would consider trying for romance, fantasy romance. Because that's a subgenre that I typically distrust, but I have faith. I have faith in Laura. It's going to be amazing. There's so much romance in Gold Silver. It's everywhere. I mean, basically it's a Yukon romance novel. It's not. Nobody quote that. Bujold is becoming an all-time favorite author for me. Love to hear it. I loved her prose in Curse of Shalion. It was so good. Guys, we only have like half a stack left. Honestly, I'm not sure if any of her books. Oh, Emily Henry. I don't know. We'll find out. I have to figure out how I'm going to read indies now, as most of them are exclusive to Amazon, ebook wise, and Amazon. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us are looking into going wide. It's tough because it's one of the easiest ways for people to find us as indies, and it also usually is a big section of each author's earnings from Amazon every month. So it's definitely a quandary trying to figure out whether to be on Kindle Unlimited or not. Funny Story would be the best of much. I think that's the other one that I have. Is Funny Story, pretty sure. Yeah, Cowboy Punk, Yuko Necro. I love all of these. I'm just going to use them all. Tundra Punk. Yes. Tundra or Snow Punk. I like the way you guys are thinking. Mistborn is such a great book. I love that book. That was one of my first epic fantasies that I ever read, and I really enjoyed it a lot. I want to go back and reread it at some point pretty soon. Well, maybe not this year, maybe next year. See you, Kay. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Bye, Laura. Thanks for hanging out, and best of luck as you're getting closer to your release date as well. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm not the person to ask because I read 3 of them because I was convinced that they couldn't actually be that bad and they had to get better at some point. I don't think so. But hey, if you want to read them, I'd be very interested in your thoughts. Hey, Andrew. How's it going? A very dark fantasy with a strong romance plot. Bujold's Sharing Knife tetralogy. Ah. She has written so many books, you guys. I constantly feel like I'm hearing about a new book that's by Bujold that I hadn't heard of before. It's wild. I'm kind of afraid to put this on that stack because I think they're going to fall over. Sharing Knife is on my TBR. Awesome. Zin, like, you can send me an email anytime. If any of you guys want the EPUB version of the book, just send me an email. Like, I'm more than happy to have you guys read it. So just let me know. How long have you been a writer for? Well, I started writing when my mom still has a little blank hardcover book that I wrote when I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 probably. That was a story about a family of dogs, and she still has it. So a long time, but published. My first book I published when I was 14, and I published 9 books between the ages of 14 and 20. And I did a lot of traveling to homeschool conventions all over the United States. And I did motivational speaking on like writing and how to get kids excited about reading and writing at those conferences. And then I went to college and kind of took a break from all of that and focused on my family. And then in 2020, I published Phased to get back into, because I wanted to come back to writing. It's the only thing I've wanted to do since I was a kid, was be a writer. And yeah, so this is book 13 since I was 14 years old. And it's actually kind of cool, you guys, because Cold Silver, all the way back to the chapter book that I put out when I was 14, which is called Mighty Stallion. It was a historical fiction book about horses. There's 20 years in between the two of them. So like that kind of hit me as I was unboxing these today. And I was like, 13 books in 20 years, I feel pretty good about, honestly, considering the break that I took and the fact that I've been living life in the middle of all of that. And I'm just so grateful that I get to do this. I love it. I love it so much. I love telling stories, and I always have. So it's very cool when I get to share those with other people and people actually want to read them. That's really awesome. So it's pretty awesome job. Joanna, I don't know, is it Joanna or Joanna? I have a friend that is pronounced Joanna, so I always have to catch myself. This is a great question. So it really depends on what your mood is. Because if you are feeling brave and you want to try something that is a little bit more on the epic side, The Bloodstones is book 1 in a trilogy, and it's very character focused. There are 4 points of view surrounding some kind of upheaval. It's a more political, a lot of political tension. There's some military fantasy in here. And this is kind of my love letter to epic fantasy. So if you're looking for a bigger world and really deep character work, and it's a little bit more Asian inspired, so I was very kind of pulling on influence from kind of ancient era Korea for a couple of the main cultures. And then the other culture that's in here is sort of a mashup between Viking and Mongols. And yeah, this is my like big baby project. And the trilogy is kind of my main focus for the next couple of years, finishing that. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more, this works as a YA. It's pretty dark for YA. To me, Phased is kind of a YA in the same sense that something like Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo would be YA. You have young protagonists, but they're dealing with really tough situations. They are very powerful werewolves who are basically being held captive by an organization that's trying to get them to assimilate into human society or else become lab rats for the rest of their lives. Sister Bond, motley crew, they're sent to an assimilation school, and it's very werewolves without all of the toxic romance, which is why I ended up writing it, because I was really tired of the Twilight after effect, and I wanted just a solid story about werewolves and what that would actually look like. So that's kind of an urban paranormal. And then Cold Silver is the fantasy Western action adventure, still very character focused. I'm that way as a writer for every book. So it's always going to be very character focused. I tackle some heavy themes, but I also try to make it realistic and earned. I don't ever want to put anything in my books for shock value. So yeah, it kind of depends on what mood you're in, to be honest. And that's kind of what I like about having these 3 books now, is that I have 3 entry points for people depending on what they're interested in reading. So I don't know if that was helpful at all, because it's hard to know. I would love to look at your bookshelves and then I'd probably be able to tell you better. If you like historical fiction, Bloodstones is definitely has a like older historical kind of feel. It's based on a lot of the political maneuvering and the succession war that's in it are based very heavily on my love of deeply historical Korean dramas. So, I mean, that could be a good fit. That was a really long answer. I hope it was helpful. Wrapping up Gone South by Robert McCammon. That's right. I saw you posted a short about that today. Audible's a mess, honestly. Whisper Sync for voice basically means I can get the Audible book and the Kindle book cheaper than a Kobo. Yeah. I don't know. Amazon's a mess with all of that right now. It's hard to keep up with. They're always Joanna, not Anna. Okay, awesome. Kobo ebook, Kindle book, and audiobook. Yeah, probably. Thanks, Wiz. Oh man, this is so tough. I hate to be the cop-out author and just say all of them. I think I'm proud of myself for different things with each of them. Bloodstones, I'm incredibly proud of how big of a story it is. Like, I know most of you guys that have read it, you've only read the first book, and so it's hard to see the bigger picture that I have in my head. But it's such a big story, you guys. It's such a big, deep story that I've had it in my heart and soul for the last 12 years because I started working on the world when I was in college. And I'm so incredibly proud of it. And I cannot wait to keep going on the series. Cold Silver, I'm very proud of myself for challenging my creativity to go in a new direction, to try first person and to expand into a different subgenre with the fantasy Western. And that I was able to keep writing last year. Last year was really tough, you guys. And I almost put writing down completely for the year and was just like, I can't right now. But I kept working on Cold Silver, and I'm really proud of myself for not giving up on my creativity and for like seeing it physically here now just is so rewarding because of that. Phased was me coming back to writing after a really long break. And I'm really proud of how much I put of my personal story in Phased. That one's a very near and dear to a lot of my experiences because I dig into PTSD quite a bit in Phased. So I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but it's really hard to pick one. I'm always going to say like Bloodstones is my love letter to everything I adore about storytelling as a whole. So like I'm always going to be an epic military fantasy nerd, and Bloodstones is my love letter to that. So like if I really had to pick one, but also recency bias, like the newest book is always the favorite. And I'm really excited to see what everybody thinks of Cold Silver too. So again, long answer, and I don't know that I actually did a good job answering it, but oh, good. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. I want to make sure that the right book finds the right reader. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, Denise. I hope that it gets to you safely and that you enjoy the read. Wingfeather Saga by Andrew Peterson. Okay. We love that series in this house. My son's a big fan of it. Yeah, I mean, if you're reading more detailed historical fiction and longer historical fiction, I think you'd be completely fine with Bloodstones, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. If you like, you know, bigger, more detailed historical stories, you'd probably be fine. We have 5 books left, you guys. We almost did it. And my wrist is still working, and I haven't forgotten how to sign my name yet. So I'd say that's a success. And I think as of today, I'm pretty sure that we passed 100 pre-orders officially today, which is very exciting. So thank you guys for all of the support. Shannon, yes, there are horses in Bloodstones and in Cold Silver that are characters. So in Cold Silver, Hunter has a roan mare that is not named. She is the roan mare through the entire story because Hunter can't come up with any names that are family friendly for her horse. But they have kind of a love-hate relationship, and she is an nod to all of the wonderful persnickety horses that I have ridden over my lifetime, and she was a blast to write. She is definitely a character. And then in Bloodstones, there are one of the cultures has war horses that they're very, very closely tied to because they are a military culture. And so there are a couple of named war horses in Bloodstones that are also characters, one of them specifically, that I have gotten some messages from people saying I've been threatened. Like, if you do anything to this horse in the Bruhai trilogy, people will come for me. So, but yeah, so kind of a nod to some of the horses that I have. This one especially, the roan mare, is a kind of a nod to some of the more sassy horses that I've ridden over the years. And it's great fun. It is crazy, Doug, how you literally forget how to spell your name. It's wild. When I used to do the homeschool conventions, we would have lines, and I did young writers conferences as well. And sometimes I would sign 200 autographs in a span of an hour or less. And by the end of it, I was like, what is my name? What letter does it start with? I don't know. Yeah, and it does start to look wrong. It's so weird. It's when you forget which name to sign. Yeah, it's that. Honestly, you'd think that the repetition would make it more solidified in your brain, but for some reason, it seems to work the opposite way. And it's I don't know. I can't remember. Fiction, I prefer middle grade. Yeah, so there might be some romantic subplots in my books. There isn't in this one really. Very, very slightly, but it's not with the main character. Phased has a slight romance subplot, but it's more wholesome than I don't do toxic romance. And then Bloodstones has a subplot romance kind of just starting in the book. So they're not, I'm not a big romance person either. And when I write it, I want to write it well and wholesome, but it's usually not a main focus. 100%. Roan mare is typical. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. There was a horse that I rode when I was in horse camp at age 13, and her name was Sizzle, and she was a paint mare, and we'd ride through a field, a big open field, and she'd spook at a flower, a random wildflower, and she'd be like, oh my gosh. And she was just, bless her heart, I loved her to bits and pieces, but she was just something else. And so as I was reading or writing the roan mare in here, it's kind of a nod to Sizzle. And I also rode a very, very stubborn pony mare when I was 13 or 14 named Star, who was a complete sasspot. So yeah, I have fun with it. It's kind of entertaining to write what you know in that way and pull in the horses that you've worked with over the years. I hope you enjoy it when you get back to it, Chad. Yeah, no problem. Honestly, it was kind of an impromptu thing, but I was like, I have a bunch of books to sign and I'm just going to be sitting here, so I might as well hang out and see how you guys are doing. If you like harder or heavier topics in books, I think you'll gel with any of my 3 books. You might like Phase too with that, because it is more, it has younger protagonists, but I also, like I said before, I delve into the experience of PTSD quite a bit in it. And there's a lot of heavier themes there too. So honestly, I'd say either Phased or Bloodstones, based on what you're suggesting from your previous likes. I mean, you could try Cold Silver too, but I would say based on the books you've already read, either of those. I actually got into fountain pens and back into stationery because I'm embarrassed. Hey, you know, that's really cool that you're going back into it. My husband was big into calligraphy for a while. Did I sign that one? Yes, I did. Okay. And I'm just fascinated by all of that with the pens and the ink. And that's not my specific area of hobby, but I think it's really cool when people are good at it. So that's awesome that you're into that. Well, guys, we have 90 signed books. And now that they're all signed, I can start going through each individual order and packaging them up for you guys. So I'm very excited. I'm guessing probably by the end of the week, some of these will start going out. So hopefully next week around launch day and shortly after, you guys should be getting them. If you're in the US, if you're an international buyer, it might be like the week after that. Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes the mail surprises me and it gets international locations a lot faster than I think it's going to. But I think I am going to call it and go eat some dinner and start packaging tonight. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and making signing all of these books more fun. I hope that you enjoyed the chat. I always love hearing from you guys and hearing what you're reading, and you guys always have awesome recommendations. So thank you, honestly, for hanging out with me. And again, the links to the book are down in the description box below this video, both the Amazon link and also the link to my website if you want to get the signed ones. And yeah, I don't know if there's any left of the signed ones from this batch, but I will be ordering another batch of these in the next day or two probably. And so if you don't get this batch, you'll be in the next one, and that'll be going out shortly after. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. You guys are awesome. I hope you all have a fantastic week. Also, really quick before I go, come back next Tuesday, which is officially launch day, a week from today. There will be a launch party live stream with a bunch of cool people who were involved in the production of Cold Silver. And we're going to just hang out and party and have a good time on launch day. So come back for that. I think it's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time next Tuesday, which I know is late for my international people. I'm so sorry. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you